Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another gold making video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the state of alt armies currently in Dragonflight. Now, either by the thumbnail or the title, or just right now, there's a huge spoiler alert that these alt armies are actually thriving in Dragonflight, which not many people expected. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over 4 different methods to make gold if you are somebody with a lot of alts. And so without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you guys enjoy the content, leaving a like or even subscribing for more would be insanely awesome, and let's get into it. And so just diving right in, I want to talk about the first method, which is probably my favorite method, and this is through Alchemy. Now, most of these pros that I'm about to say will really relate to all of these methods, but for Alchemy specifically, the best thing about this is that it takes little to no setup. All you will have to do is level up a profession. You will not even have to gather knowledge points, which is a huge one for a lot of people. Secondly, this applies to all methods of this, but it's super scalable, meaning if you just have one character, you can make profit. But of course, if you have 5 characters or 10 characters, or even a full account of 60 characters, whatever your character amount is, there will be gold for you. So if you only have one alt, you can still do these methods. It's not just for the people who have, 50. Also, another pro is that all of these, I would say, are safe methods, meaning there's not a lot of risk involved. One of the methods are even raw gold, which means there's no risk whatsoever, but all of the things you will be doing sell very fast. So if you're somebody who is worried about setting this all up just to realize the items don't sell, that is not the case. And so, like I said, we're going to start with Alchemy, which is my favorite method. And if you guys have seen my Alchemy breakdown, you might have recognized this because I talked about it, but with retail, we can finally show this in all its glory. And what we are talking about today are the different transmutes in Dragonflight Alchemy. Now, of course, you can see that there are plenty of them available, but in today's video, we're going to be highlighting the Awakened Air, the Awakened Fire, and the Awakened Earth. Sorry, I clicked on those backwards, but you get what I mean. And so, yes, there are other ones, but in today's video, we're focusing on the easier ones. Now, in terms of requirements, all you have to do is level up your Alchemy to 50. Now, this is a brand new character, a brand new character entering the Dragon Isles, and so I just leveled up my Alchemy, and it took me 3 minutes. Of course, if you guys can't afford all of the reagents, it might take you a little bit longer, but in terms of leveling it up, it literally took me 3 minutes, so the setup is very, very easy. Now, as you guys actually level to 50, you will unlock this first transmute, which, if this one is profitable, that's all you have to worry about. In order to unlock the Earth and Fire, you will have to go onto the auction house and purchase them. Now, if you guys have seen my previous videos or have seen people talk about these, people were wary of this method during beta because these are, BOE recipes, and we didn't know how much they would cost. Some recipes are going for hundreds of thousands of gold, and of course, if the transmute recipes went for that much, this method would be pretty awful. However, in live and retail, it has been proven that these are very cheap, with the region market average being less than 200 gold, and on my medium pop server, they're going for 50. So once again, very inexpensive, and you will just want to purchase both of these recipes. Upon doing that, we can just go pick it up, and that is the end of the setup. So all you have to do is, level up your Alchemy to 50, and then all you have to do is buy these 2 recipes and then learn them. And so what this actual gold making method is all you have to do is choose which transmute is making the most gold each day and craft it. So in our case, if we look up on the auction house, every single transmute is taking 2 types of Awakened and making it into a new Awakened. So right here, if we just search, or you can search it yourself, alright, we need 1 Frost, that's like 270 gold, 1 Fire, that's like 260, averages out to like 520, sweet, and it's gonna craft 2 air. So if we click this, 2 air, that is 700 gold. So right there, just off the bat, we're making about 190 gold profit. Of course, there's an auction house cut, but perfect, right? You know, all you have to do is log on to this character, buy the 2 items you need, click craft, and you are done. That probably takes 30 seconds to do. Now let's say you check and it's not profitable, you can move on to the next one, which is the same exact reagent cost, it's the same exact 2 awakens, but you're making 2 earths. So, oops, I apologize, there we go. If we look up the awakened earth, and actually that right there is making us 1700 gold. So our crafting cost is still like 530 gold, and we're turning that in. That is almost 1200 gold profit. Then our last one is actually not going to be profitable because it's taking the earth and air and it's making fire, which as you guys can see is a big loss. So in our case, just a quick little search, you know, this one is perfect. So all we have to do is go through here, you know, buy our 2 items. Of course, you might have to go to the auction house up there to do it. You know, if you don't have a Bruto or there's no Bruto up, then you'll just have to fly over to your bench. And then all we have to do is hit craft. And so that will happen. Boom, we have just created 2 awakened earth. Our cooldown is now on cooldown for 24 hours, so it's a daily cooldown, and we are good to go. To just prove how fast this sells, I can throw this on the auction house, and in the matter of seconds, boom, there we go. We have just made about 1200 gold. And so that is how this method works. You know, if I can make 1200 gold with 1 character, if I have 10 alchemists set up and that profit margin remains the same, that turns into 12,000 gold profit for a matter of minutes. Of course, this is the second day of reset from the season, so prices are very high, but even if you're making 100 gold, have, you know, 10 alts, once again, it takes probably 30 seconds to do this after it's set up, and it's super fast. Also, if you do want to take this a step further, because as you level, you will gain knowledge points. You know, for leveling plus that 1 cooldown, I have 6. So if you want to, you can throw this into alchemical theory and throw all of your points, if you have enough, into transmutation. Eventually, if you do decide to max this out, you'll gain additional resourcefulness. You'll also gain that ordered transmute, which could be profitable. And then, of course, you'll just gain the ability to do them more frequently, etc. So if you guys want to go the extra step, you can throw points into here, but it's not necessary. You know, you can keep it basic, do it once per day, and make a ton of gold. Also, just an additional side note, because I know some people will worry about this. If you guys already have Alchemist set up for, let's say, Sky Golems, let's say you guys are transmuting Living Steel every single day, I have tested this, and they do not share a cooldown, meaning you are able to transmute one of these Awakened Air every day, plus your Living Steel. So if you're somebody who already has a Sky Golem factory, or you just have a ton of Transmute Masters, this will not impede in that, and actually it just doubles your gold per day. So definitely get on this, and we'll move on to method 2. And so moving on, the next method I want to talk about is actually raw gold, and this is from the Dragon Writing World Quest. If you guys are not familiar, every single time the World Quest reset, which is bi-weekly, twice a week, there are 4 racing World Quests. 1 spawns in each zone, and it just asks you to complete a race, and as long as you complete it, you will gain some gold. And so the dragon writing pouches that you get for completing these World Quests will grant you about 500 to 550 gold each. So literally for like a minute-long race, that is 550 raw gold. So this is not as good as mission tables, but since mission tables aren't there, and also callings are not here either, this is kind of our raw gold replacement. And so for out of curiosity and timing, I took my brand new character who has done nothing, through the world quest available for this week, and I was able to complete all 4 in 9 minutes and 9 seconds. We can just round that to 10 minutes to make our math a lot easier. And so from those 4 pouches, I gained 2100 raw gold. So if we say 2100 raw gold every 10 minutes, assuming you have 6 characters to run this, 6 times 10, 60 minutes, 1 hour, that is an hourly rate of 12,600 gold. Now, of course, this is raw gold, 12,000 gold an hour is nothing spectacular, but also, you get reputation through this, and it's just kind of fun because of dragon riding. So if you guys are looking for some raw gold, of course, it's not as good as Shadowlands, but this one is super awesome as well. And so the third method of making gold with alt armies is a little bit more theoretical. This is more of just having alts available to help you out with other crafting. What I mean by this is if you guys haven't seen, I highly recommend the video I posted before this one about shuffling, and you guys will notice for shuffling, it requires a specific setup. On this character is actually my Tailoring Shuffler, and the goal of this is to complete spinning all the way in order to unravel for profit. Now, because of this, I do have some extra points, but this cost me 5 points plus 30, so a total of 35 points to basically set this shuffling up. And so in a normal circumstance, if I have my main tailorer, 35 points is a huge deal. Not only does this require me to unlock the textiles tree, that's also 35 points I'm basically quote-unquote throwing away just for the shuffle. So the ability for me to have an extra alt, to have another tailoring unit who can specifically just provide this shuffle is amazing, right? I can focus on armor, I can focus whatever I want on my main tailorer, but if I'm here to shuffle and make some extra gold, I can log on to this alt and be fine. So in terms of how to make gold with alt armies, having more alts just allows you to have a variety of setups. And so the same thing goes for the inscription shuffle, which once again is highlighted in that video, and that required 40 points, and you had to choose which shuffle out of the 4 of them to prioritize. So let's say you have 4 alts free, you can make them shufflers for each sort of rousing, meaning, if the profit margins per shuffle changes per day, you can always make sure you can cover the most profitable. Of course, in that example, I chose frost rousings in order to shuffle, but maybe those fall in profit and the air does way better. If I only have 1 scribe, I'm kind of out of luck. I, can't really do that other shuffle, but if I have a 3rd scribe on hand, I definitely could. So using your alt armies to create other additional setups is super awesome, especially in the shuffling standpoint. And so the last method I want to highlight is actually with tailoring, and it is another cooldown. Now I apologize, I am on my main tailor because I haven't made a second one yet, but I should be able to get the point across as well. And so this is the Chrono Cloth as well as the Azure Weave Bolt cooldown. Now very similar to the Alchemy one, technically you do not need any knowledge points, and actually you only have to level your profession to 25. Once you hit your 25 profession level in tailoring, you will unlock specializations, and then all you have to do is learn Draconic Needlework. You guys will notice that upon learning Draconic Needlework, you will immediately be able to learn a sub-specialization. And so in my case, I chose the Chrono Cloth one, which unlocked the Chrono Cloth cooldown. Technically, that's all you have to do. I have just put additional points, but that is not necessary. Upon unlocking one of these 2 cooldowns, either the Chrono Cloth or the Azure Weave, you will gain the daily cooldown, which looks something like this. The crafting cost is a little bit different depending on the reagents. So right here, the bolt requires frost instead of air. And so the same thing with alchemy applies. All you will have to do is, of course, buy or craft these reagents, go to a special location, which you can just stay there if it's an alt, and just craft this once per day. Now, the reason why this is the last one on the list, the biggest downside is, of course, quality, right? Quality 1 is not worth a ton just for the fact that it's the lowest quality, and so that makes sense. However, eventually people are going to be needing bolts for bags if people haven't unlocked them already, and thankfully bags do not require any sort of quality. So people producing this bag, right, it doesn't matter what sort of quality they're using, because at the end of the day, the bag doesn't change itself. And so because of this, whether you just sell them on the auction house or use them towards your own bags, this is perfect to do. Now, once again, similar to Alchemy, you will gain some knowledge points just by leveling up your profession, and so you have a decision to make. If you only decide to level your tailoring to 25, then you can throw your points kind of like I have done right here to improve your cooldown, meaning ultimately you'll be able to gain more per day and also improve your overall stacks to 30 instead of 10. Now, if you guys take the extra initiative and level up your tailoring to level 50, you'll be able to choose a different specialization tab, and I recommend going into textiles. If so, and you decide to put your points into weaving, you will gain a ton of multicraft, meaning yes, you're going to be producing only quality 1, but you will have a ton of multicraft, hopefully that procs, leading you to craft maybe 3 bolts instead of 1, basically cutting your crafting cost in thirds. So you do have that ability to help yourself, if you take the initiative of gaining extra knowledge points. It really just depends, but this is an option as well. Of course, I don't think it's as good as Alchemy because Alchemy is just simply so simple, but this is also an option if you guys are interested. And so yeah guys, that is it for this video. That is quickly just 4 ways that you can utilize your alt army, and if you combined a lot of these methods, you can make a ton of gold. For example, if you slap Alchemy on an alt for your transmute every single day, you take that alt through your dragon riding races, and maybe you pick up tailoring to do the bolt cooldown, or you turn it into a spinning shuffler. Whatever you do, you can combine 3 of these in once and make that alt make a ton of gold for you with very limited effort. And of course, there's just so many different ways that you can utilize your alts. I could turn this video into an hour-long essay if I really wanted to about the different gold making methods you can do. But as always, hopefully this sets you up, hopefully this can make you a ton of gold, and let me know if there's any specific methods that you are doing yourself. As always everybody, thank you so much for watching the video, I really do appreciate it, and as always everybody, have a good day.